Wonderful. So everything's set up fine. I'll put this back on here. Check that everything's working fine. Wonderful. So welcome this morning, guys. So I wanted to do a live video because I like to go live and simply I don't look at the chart before. I just want to go live and show you what I'm looking for. And this is a way for me to review the charts, and it's a way for you to benefit to see what's happening on the charts. So we'll go one by one with all the pairs I follow. And this idea here is that I identify the zones that I'm looking at pretty much yesterday. So usually between Fridays and Sundays, I'll look at the chart. I'll identify areas that I'm interested to trade, and then I'll go back on Monday morning, like right now, to look at what to trade exactly. So you'll see that I have some areas like this in my chart. Okay, so these things like this one right here, this one right there, those are showing me where I want to trade. Okay, it's pretty simple, and I'll show you exactly how I want to trade after that. So AUDGPY, we have broken out of this previous range that we had last week, and now we're coming back to test this same high. Okay, so it's a round number 81, pretty round. So we're looking to test that area once again. Now I'm looking to probably buy here because once we break out, you know that the main thing we're looking for after the breakout is for the pullback and then move in the same direction. Okay, so I'm looking to buy around this area here. Now how am I going to buy? Well, I'm not buying now for sure, but I'll probably look at multi-time frame, and I'll go down to some time frames to see, okay, what is price doing? Are we consolidating here and then breaking out? Okay, that would be a way to buy. Or are we gonna come back down here and have a big move up? Okay, that would be another way to buy. So I'll wait to see that kind of confluence or confirmation, and then I'll be interested to buy. But the idea is that this level here is really the key level. Okay, the 81 round number level. AUD and ZD, go to the daily chart. This is a pair where we're really kind of between the range now. Okay, so I wouldn't want to buy necessarily because we're between two limits, between the 107.5 and 103. Okay, a round number here. But as you guys can see, we've been between the two. And some people ask me, like, is it good to trade here? Because you have a move up right there. Okay, some people would buy here, put the stop loss below. But here's the key, and here's the point. You don't have much room. Okay, if you're gonna put this wide of a stop loss, and you're expecting to buy at this level, well, guess what? You might get to 1-to-1, not even 2-to-1 of your what to risk. Okay, so it's not interesting to buy here or to do anything. So you might as well wait until we go back to this level or the level above. Okay, and when I say market phase here 1, it means that we're sideways. Okay, and the only two trades I'm taking when we're sideways are buying at the low, selling at the top, okay, or waiting for the breakout or breakdown. Okay, those are the only trades you can take. There's nothing else to trade. So trading sideways here is really not worthwhile. So I'll wait until we go back to one of those levels to see how we can trade that pair. AUD and ZD, well, same thing, we're between two levels. But the interesting part is that we broke out last week, broke down. We had this level here, 75, 74, that we broke down. Okay, two round numbers. And now we're going to look, as always, for retracement. Can price pull a little bit back up? And then can we short at this level? Okay. And as I said, there's many ways to look at this. Okay. I'll go in different time frames and I'll look at what price is doing. Is price coming back up here and then consolidating a little bit and then breaking out? Okay, that's a good way to sell. Or is price going back above and then making a big like bearish engulfing candle, for example, and coming back down? Okay, this is the other way you could look to sell. So I'll still be waiting for this. We'll wait to see how strong is the retracement. Are we going back to this level here and touching the previous level? Okay, 74.5, or are we just gonna go back down a little bit, coming back up a little bit? We'll have to see. Okay, it's really variable here. And of course, take profit on this if you're gonna take a trade. I'm looking at the 0.72 level. Okay, it's a round number, and we had some previous support in the past. Okay, this is pretty much the main support we have on this pair. Okay, the earliest one. Yes, there's this one here, but this is maybe a way to take partial profit if you're gonna sell around here. Okay. Cats CHF. Yeah, this one is a little bit tricky to trade because as always we're between two levels. Okay, that's the same thing we talked about on AUD and ZD. We're between two levels. There's 0.77 and 0.725. So why would you want to take a trade here? Well, it's kind of tricky, right? Because price, when it's between two limits like this, it's much more likely to go back up, down, and you're much more likely to be stopped out. Because this is why I'm not entering a trade here, because I think my reward to risk would not be that great. Yes, you have this kind of trend line, okay, that people told me about and that I see, but I don't know. To me, this is less reliable than a level like this, 0.77 or 0.725. Okay, this is less reliable. Don't forget that trend lines are super subjective. You might identify one. I might put a completely different one. That's going to be like the opposite. And we're going to trade it thinking that we're right, but we might be wrong. Okay, so I prefer those levels here with round numbers. It's more reliable. So I'll skip on this and I'll wait until we get to one of those levels. Euro GBP. This is a pair that's been moving upward, okay, for a long time. We've been always making new highs. Okay, so high here, new high, new high, new high, and here we're kind of losing some momentum. Okay, that's the interesting part. So we had this high, lower high, and we're coming back here. I was thinking this level here, 0.87, could hold as a support. It didn't. We just went straight through. And now we're looking for the next place to trade. Okay. Usually when we break and we don't keep the momentum like this, what's going to happen is we're going to probably become in a sideways market. Okay. Price made a high here. We came a little bit down. We didn't respect the previous support. So I'm expecting price might go sideways like this for a while. Okay. This is usually what's going to happen. And then you have to see whether we break out or break down. Okay. Now we might come back to this level 84, 0.84. That might be a place to look for buying opportunities. Okay, because we're at a round number and we had some strong support in the past. But you cannot expect price to just go to 0.84 and shoot back up all the way here. Okay, because we've lost some momentum. We don't have the same strength that we had in the past. Okay, this is why you have to be careful with this. And I'll just try to remove that pop-up here. It's kind of annoying, but there you go. Okay, wonderful. So that's pretty much it for Euro GPB. Euro GPY, pretty much we're at this level right now because we have to look whether we want to sell or not. What I like to do here is I like to look for multi-time frame kind of trades. So instead of waiting for the daily chart to close and everything and have a strong bearish momentum, where you would lose, by the way, a lot of reward to risk, I'm looking to trade on a smaller time frame. So I might go on the 1 hour chart, see what price is doing. So I'll give you an example. If price was to consolidate here and do a nice range, and then I could identify this and then price breakdown. Okay, this is a place to look for short. Why? Well, because you have this 84 level, this is 118. Okay, so you have the 118 level plus the breakdown. So this is a perfect way to look for selling opportunities. Now, for people in the academy, if you're watching this, and I'm pretty sure some people are, if you're in my academy, you know how to identify strong breakouts, right? Because not all of them are going to be strong. Some of them might be weak, and this is where you might skip the trade and wait for a false break, okay? So you need to identify this first. But this is the idea here. And usually I'm going to go on the 1 hour maybe 15 minutes possible. 15 minutes, yeah, possible. But I usually don't go lower. Okay, so you have to define this for yourself. But this is what I'm looking for. All of this is based on this level here, the 118. Okay, and of course we might, of course, just go right through and break out. This is where you look for buying opportunities. But the thing I want to highlight here is that based on all these previous resistance levels, while buying here is much more risky, okay, because you have all of this that you have to go through. So going from here and breaking out and doing an uptrend is much more difficult than just coming back down here and retesting this trend line or this level 114, 116. Okay, so you have to be aware of this. Which one is more likely? This is what I'm seeing for now. Euro USD is still between two levels, but we're getting really close to the 105 level, 1.05, which is gonna be interesting to see because it's kind of the low on this pair for a long time. See, like we didn't go there for a long time, and we might. Well, we'll see what happens. But we've been testing here once, so first time, second time, third time, and always pushing back higher. And pushing back, like this is huge, from 1.05 to 1.14. Okay, this is like a 900 pip range, so this is huge. So I'll be looking for to see here if we can buy, because don't forget that we're sideways, right? Go on the weekly chart. We're between those two levels, 1.14, 1.05. That's the only thing we're doing. We're sideways. So you'll be looking to, like, we'll have to be looking for selling at the top, buying at the bottom, or looking for breakouts. Breakout above, break down below. And if we're going to break down below, this is where it's likely to be pretty strong. Okay, if we have a strong breakout, as we identify them in the academy. Because we don't have any previous support here. We don't have any, like, anything to support the price, to push price back higher. Okay, the main thing we have is from 2003. Okay, so this is like a long time ago. Okay, so you have to, I was not even trading in 2003. So this is a long time. So we'll be looking for this week. And this is definitely one that I'll be looking at closely. GBP CAD. Now we're going into GBP pairs. And you'll see that they're pretty much all doing the same thing. So I'll see if I go through all of them or not. But GBP CAD, we had this downtrend. And now we're losing some momentum. Okay, why do I say this? Because I thought we would just move back up, have this as a resistance level and go back down. But we didn't. Okay, we broke through. We came within the previous range, which says that we're losing some strength in the downtrend. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I'll wait, and I kind of expect price to go sideways. I still have this 1.75 level that I'm looking to buy at, or to sell. But other than that, I'll be really quick on taking profit here, because we're losing some strength in the downtrend, and we might go sideways. GBP, GPY, pretty much the same thing. See here, pretty much the same thing, except we went a little bit higher. We're testing the 138 level now, which is going to be interesting to see. Okay, a strong level in the downtrend, but the downtrend has lost momentum. We made this low, then we went all the way here by breaking this high and closely this high. Okay, so I'm expecting more sideways stuff here, and I'll have to watch how price is doing here. And again, you can look for breakouts here, or I mean breakdown. Okay, you might have some range here, and then a breakout. This is, or a breakdown. This is where you want to sell usually, if the breakout is strong. Okay, that's the criteria. But either this, or usually I look for strong evidence of reversal here at this level. Okay, so I'll be looking at that for sure this week, because we're either gonna break out or we're gonna reverse on this pair. Okay, and those are gonna be great trade opportunities for sure this week. Now I won't go to GBP and ZDs, the exact same thing, 1.77, and we're testing the zone right now. GBP USD, same thing again. We're testing the zone. We've been a little bit down, but this was not, for me, a strong evidence of going back downward. Okay, so I'll be looking to see whether we're gonna go sideways here or what's gonna happen. We're still in downtrend on on a higher time frame, but I'm still looking to see what's gonna happen on this pair. And it's not the best reward to risk to play, because you're gonna be selling here. You have to take some profit here, ideally. So it's not the best case scenario here. NZD CAD. We're in an upturn on the higher time frame, so moving higher and higher. So basically, we look for buying opportunities here. We had this level 0.95 that we were thinking of buying at. Now we broke that level. We'll see how that goes. If this candlestick can be strong enough, I might be looking to buy, but I'll have to see how that goes. And given that we're not at the level, it's kind of difficult to see. But there's always this level, 0.93, that might be holding pretty strongly. So we'll have to see how that goes, for sure. And NZD USD, I have a trade on this right now, so I'll leave the trade open. But here's the idea. We had this bearish engulfing candle right there. Sort of a head and shoulder forming, okay? Depending on how you see them, you might see it or not. Totally fine. And there you go. So now we're having this bullish engulfing candle. And what this says is either we're going to retest this level here and go back down, which is the neckline of the head and shoulders, or we might just go back up. But I'm close partially on this, so I don't have anything to worry about. Stop loss is at break even now, so I'll just leave the trade open and see what happens. But if we're gonna break down here, we might have a strong down move. Okay, we have this round number 0.7, which has been holding a lot, but now we lost some momentum in the uptrend. So this is why I'm more interested to keep the trade open right here and wait to see what happens. Okay. S&P is testing right now this level, 2195, which is really the high, okay, the highest point ever. So we'll be looking to not maybe sell on this, but see how strong is the breakout going to be, and see if we can buy on this breakout. Breakouts on this might be a little bit tougher because there might be less strong, but nevertheless, I'm waiting to see what happens there. And what I want to show you is a perfect example here of sideways market. Because if you go in a low time frame on this, you see that price is really going sideways. Okay, and I'll go on the 1 hour chart. But price in the past couple of weeks has really been sideways between this level and this level right here. Okay, so this is the perfect example of what you can look for. If you were bearish on this and thinking that price would go back down, well, you might sell here if it's gonna break down. But if you're bullish, then you might buy here if it's gonna break above. Because you have two ways of seeing this. But this sideways market, and even longer, like all the way here, is the perfect example that we don't know where we're gonna go, and that buyers and sellers are kind of debating on what the market's gonna do. Okay, so this is what is interesting, I think, to trade. Now USD CAD. Let me go higher. Yeah, nice market here because we broke this level that I was expecting price to go back down, possibly 1.34. Now the question is, great, we broke out. Are we gonna sustain that uptrend? And now we're consolidating. I'll show you a little bit lower. Between this level, 1.355, and the 1.34. So either you look for breakouts here, thinking that price would go higher, it's really possible. That's what I'm pretty much looking for. Or you wait for the retest of this level here, 1.34. Okay, so either we're gonna go back down here, go back above, or we might just go straight up. Okay, so those are the two things that I'm looking at right now. And we do have some nice reward to risk on this because the next support or next resistance, I mean, is at 1.40, because this is a long way. 1.34 to 1.40 is like 600 pips, so it might be really, really worth it to trade on that pair. USD not much going on. We're testing fairly weak, I think, resistance, where we had only these two touches. We'll see how that goes, but I'm not focused on trading this. Unless we go back to this level here, 1.07, retest it, and then go back up. Okay, this would be the only way. But for now, let me see. We're still consolidating a little bit on the weekly chart, because we didn't see a strong up move. We didn't see higher highs yet. So I'm still waiting to see whether we're gonna stay in consolidation or if we're gonna go back above. Now what about USD? This is a pair that I like to trade sometimes. USD and SGD, which is the Singapore dollar. Now this is really, really linked and closely linked to the Canadian dollar sometimes, and the US dollar. It's pretty much the same relation. So we had this move through that previous support at 1.41, a previous resistance. We came back a little bit to retest it. Now going higher. I'm still waiting because we're kind of in a big sideways market between 1.335 and 1.44, which is huge. So I'm looking to see what's gonna happen at this level right here, 1.44, to see if we can have some selling opportunities, because that would give us a lot of reward to risk. Okay, you can take profit partially if you're gonna sell at 1.44. You have a couple of zones to be careful of, but it's really a big range to look at. So of course I'm still waiting on this. And finally, the last pair I have on my list is gold. So gold USD. And we're exactly at the level I was looking for the past couple of weeks, the 1200 level. Because this is a place where we touched a couple of times here in 2016 in February, then back again here in June, July, and now we're coming back again to this level. So buying opportunities here are pretty big. We'll see how price behaves. And once again, two things we can do here. We can consolidate and then break out, or we can just go back here and then have a strong push. So I'm waiting to see which one's going to be, but you want to identify how strong this is and if really you're going to buy, because this move right there is showing us that there's a lot of pressure from the sellers. Okay, so it's not something to take lightly, like just when we came back down here. Okay, for example, we had this down move, but this down move is really weak, like really weak compared to this down move. Okay, so like this is pretty much strong pressure from the sellers. This is only a down move that was seen as a pullback simply. Okay, so you want to identify this. And the other thing that might happen is that we're gonna break the 1200 level, which is gonna be interesting to see as well. And then you have the next zones, 1040. You have maybe this if you want to consider it. So 1080, and that's pretty much it. Okay, or maybe a little bit here, but it's gonna give you a good reward to risk. So it's still the waiting phase here, looking to see what's gonna happen, and that's pretty much it. So you guys can let me know in the comment if you have any question, or in the chat. I'll do my best to answer the question. And don't forget to check out the Facebook group at thisartoftrade.com/group if you're not there yet.